Hello, Paul.
Hey, guys, how are you?
Good.
How are you?
I'm not doing too bad. And my first question, and I do not mean this in a rude way, but watching the show last night, when John goes in and knocks this beeping fire detector off the wall, he looks like he's been sleeping in this suit. And I'm wondering, are you just at the ready at all times just to jump out of bed and be presentable to go do this kind of crazy stuff in the middle of the night?
Well, you don't even understand half of that. I even wear this suit. I've been in this suit and been in a fire suit over the top of it, fighting a house fire.
He's always sitting on go.
Explain, like, 'cause on these high definition TVs, you can see all the wrinkles and the creases and stuff. You look very handsome and pressed when you go to the town hall for the golf carts. But I'm like, is he just like laying in that suit to get up in the middle of the night? Yeah.
A lot of times I don't get a chance to change into anything else. I may go from one job to the next to the next to the next. So
he's got a couple of them too, so that we can have the ones that are pressed when they need to be, and the ones that aren't.
Yeah.
Well, it seems a little crazy to me, and I know about the magic of editing, but when you go in to knock this fire detector off the wall, I thought this lady didn't exactly treat you with the most respect. I'm wondering, do you ever think that sometimes these people are taking a little bit of advantage of you? I know she gave you a pie, which was very nice, but she's like kind of yelling at you about bringing a ladder, and it's 2 o'clock in the morning, and I would have been just like, lady, shut it off yourself and leave, which I know you can't do that.
No, you can't do no. No, that's a no in politics. That's a very no. Matter of fact, Miss Gertie, that's on that particular film with me, I did a surprise birthday party for her, but her daughter made me pull it off and acted like we were working on something in the community house. And then when she showed up, we had about 85 people in there. And she told me, she said, I have never in my life seen my mayor lie to me like that.
What? These people sound like, I don't know, like, yeah, you're like just, they're serving. It's kind of crazy watching it.
Well, it really, it's real. I mean, I work on everything there. So you name it, we do it. They do a little Hollywood effects to it, but at the end of the day, I still have to go do those things that I have to do.
Mm-hmm.
Well, now, the thing, when I was younger, and I lived in a very small town, maybe not as small as yours, but it's a place called Philomath, Oregon, which is tiny, logging town. And the kids that grew up there, their aspirations are to leave and go to a big city and find success there. Now, as I'm an older guy, I see these young kids coming up, and their dream is to move to a small town like you live in. And I'm wondering, are you worried that you're going to see an influx of people just pour into this town when this show comes on? Because I could see that happening, because I already see it happening.
I think it would be a fantastic thing because it would help raise our tax dollars up.
Yes. We want people to come to Delo, and I mean, not just to be a tourist, because I mean, obviously tourists are welcome, and but we really do want more rooftops.
And we want to save some of our old houses that are, some families have died off, and we still have some old houses that we have to keep on the people about keeping them cleaned up and stuff like that. And I mean, even the camera guys, when they were filming me, they was asking me the prices of the houses. So there's plenty of beautiful homes there for sale, too.
Mm-hmm.
So you're encouraging an influx of people to move into this place.
Mm-hmm.
That's right.
Well, I think that's cool, because I watched it and I was like, man, what if like just a ton of people just showed up one day and you had like, 2,000 more people wanting you at their house? Because this sounds like an impossible task.
We would fit them in however we could.
Yeah, we get to you at some point. I mean, it's kind of like one of my good friends said one time. You think about it, as a firefighter, I don't get to choose which house I go to, and so that being said, it doesn't matter if it's 2,000 or 200,000. We're going to try to meet and greet every one of them.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I wanted to ask Ashley, because I read up some of the backstory on this. It seems like you were a real catalyst in pushing the show towards what it is. and the fact that you didn't fall into some of the traps, like I heard Honey Boo Boo mentioned, and I've seen Small Town Security, and some of the things that happened to that show, and it seems like you really pushed to have that not happen here, where you actually show the real side of it, and it doesn't become too comical or too over the top.
Yes, right. Paul. About 5 years ago, when this kind of started happening with us, and before Up graciously picked us up, we had a lot of different people approaching us about stuff, and I just drew a line in the sand and said, "Look, this is how we're going to be. If you can't film it that way, there won't be any TV, and we'll live life just the same as we do every day."
And so, yeah, but there was like a real push not to make it too comical, and I'm wondering if you guys get to sit in on some of the editing or make some of those decisions yourself and kind of say, well, that maybe we don't need that in the show because it kind of takes away from what we're doing. And kind of
Alex, he always gets my opinion on stuff, so, I mean, we're on the same page.
Yeah, our producers, our friendships that we have with them, they know the direction that Dad wants the show to go, and they know, if something's questionable, they'll ask him and let him have some input there. But they definitely respect what we're hoping to portray in the show.
Well, now, I have kind of a dumb question maybe, but The Walking Dead is so popular right now, and watching this show, it really reminds me of, you think of that scenario. I want to know, how do you guys think D'Lo would handle a zombie apocalypse situation that's spread across America? Because it seems like D'Lo and with John at the head of this, you guys would be sort of Rick and the Survivors.
we country boys can survive. I always remember that.
Oh, gosh.
Well, do you think you guys would handle a scenario like that maybe a little bit better than other places in America?
I know that we would be able to keep on surviving. I promise you that. We can fend for ourselves, believe me.
There's lots of fortresses I'm sure you and your buddies could develop so that we would be safe.
Yeah, we'll build a fence around it. It'll be cool.
Well, now, one of the things I noticed that I don't know if the show talks about, because I haven't seen too many of the episodes or too many of the clips, but I know that John specifically required Tuesdays and Wednesdays off, and from what I believe, it's because you work at an air conditioning unit place, too, and you have a whole separate job away from this. Is that correct?
Yeah. Yes, Paul. I'm an air conditioning salesman for Southern Air Conditioning Supply, so I stay out on the road. I'm an outside salesman, so Tuesdays and Wednesdays is when those are my travel days, and so then my boss graciously let me off the rest of the time. Of course, Saturday and Sunday was my time, but it became Alex's time at that while we were filming.
Now, does the show ever delve into that too much, or is that just like private time for you guys and people don't actually get to see the full extent of what you're actually doing and just how crazy it is?
I would say the show is more about showing what he does as a mayor, and on all the different hats that he wears, and that those Tuesdays and Thursdays was kind of the time to where Dad could go handle business in his regular full-time job, and all of us. All of his kids work and go to school, so there was some time that we would have to have just to to go to work and do normal life. And they caught our normal life on the other days of the week, but they were really trying to focus on him and what he does for the town, and then being an air conditioning man is just another thing that he does.